Yes, we are big fans of Polygon. You know by now that there's a lot that we very much love about this project. And while you shouldn't fall in love with any of your crypto bags, Polygon certainly looks to be making some of the right moves right now in this crypto market. It's only getting bigger, better, more valuable, and more diverse in its use cases for its blockchain and MATIC token. And today I'm going to tell you all about this zkEVM thing and why it's such a big deal. Besides that, there are also a couple of other things that you might not be aware of concerning Polygon, which are also positives. So let's once again deep dive into Polygon and of course its token, MATIC. Welcome to the channel. My name is Matty and this is Altcoin Buzz. Whether it's MATIC or any other altcoin, of course, I wish you the very best of luck if you choose to invest. But I am not an official financial or investment advisor. And so as you know, this video is not official financial or investment advice. Let's first discuss zkEVM, which is coming up in a hurry. In fact, March 27th is the day in question. That's when Polygon zkEVM hits the mainnet, which, by the way, is a really big deal because all the EVMs, that's Ethereum Virtual Machine Protocols, they do have some things in common. Security and scaling problems are the biggest issues, and after all, that's why Ethereum needs layer 2 solutions so badly in the first place. It is painful at times to transact on Ethereum, as many of you likely know. And the ZK part is zero knowledge. ZK stands for zero knowledge. I've talked about this before. It's a simple enough idea, but it's quite difficult to execute with technology and digital tools. It's essentially showing proof that you know something without revealing the answer itself. And a common example that we like to use is that old game and series of books, Where's Waldo? So imagine you and a friend are both playing. You tell the friend that you know where Waldo is. Maybe they ask you to prove it. But how do you prove it without revealing Waldo's location? One way would be if you cut him out of the picture and you can show that to your friend, then he sees that you do in fact know where Waldo is, but your friend can still play to find the solution himself. Not a perfect analogy, but it provides an example for what zero knowledge is all about. And in this case with blockchain, what is shown, i.e. the Waldo cutout, is the verified transaction. What's not shown is your information as sender or receiver of the transaction. It's an encryption technique that's great for both security and for privacy. So really zero knowledge helps with security, but it also helps with scaling. How? Well, just before I answer that, let's discuss EVMs which do have issues with scaling that we need to address and we need to understand, because all of these chains, of course, are proof of stake. An EVM is only as fast as its slowest validator. Why? Well, because each validator, when chosen, has to change some data and confirm the condition of the smart contracts involved in the block. Then confirm the block and then broadcast it to the network. So the data changes required in a block mean that block confirmations are only as fast as the slowest, least powerful computing validator. So ZK rollups do two things that can help scale an EVM. First, they verify transactions and then send the data back to ETH or the EVM. And secondly, they batch many thousands of transactions together fast to send them back to the network for final confirmation. And by the way, they do it cheaper than ETH or the EVM can do it if the protocol is working as designed. Okay, but what happens then when the zkEVM batches all these many transactions together? Well, it helps the EVM scale, because instead of the EVM having to use block space and energy to confirm these transactions, they use only a small fraction of space to confirm a large batch of transactions all at once. When this comes online, this is going to be huge. It'll help both Ethereum, other EVM chains, and Polygon, and it helps make MATIC more valuable too in the process. Whales also love Polygon. It's very simple. Check out our recent video on the topic if you've not already. We've been talking more and more about whale activity lately, and look, it always behooves you to follow whale activity, to follow the smart money in essence. And look, that's not to say that they're always right 100% of the time, because the fact is nobody bats 1,000. But they very often can be a good source for hidden information about a gem or an overlooked project or a project that's ready to move higher. And you can track it all on chain, which is the beauty of public blockchains. Now, in the last 4 weeks, from mid-January to mid-February, existing Polygon whales have loaded up in their wallets. Sentiment, which is a great on-chain tool, made this chart that you're seeing on screen. It says that huge Polygon whales that already hold between 10 million and 100 million MATIC, those whales have loaded up in this 4-week period. In fact, they went in big and bought 55 million MATIC over these 4 weeks. Now look, the odds that maybe an insider of either perhaps the founder or someone on the development team or even an early investor, the odds are that such an insider could be among this group of whales. That is a possibility. But the behavior still tells us something. In fact, there's an old investing saying in the stock market that says insiders sell for many different reasons, but they only buy for one reason. Those that know the most about Polygon and which have invested the most in it are bullish, and in fact, they're buying more. And again, that's the beauty of blockchain. We know all this because the information is on chain. Both myself and the team at Altcoin Buzz were pretty bullish anyway, but this is a nice confirmation that those, let's call them in the know, they agree with us. Now, one of the things that you don't hear that often on YouTube in all the trillions of videos about Polygon is that it has good tokenomics. I'm here to rebut that somewhat, so I'll make a few points here. First of all, the team and advisors only hold 20% of the total tokens. That's lower than almost every altcoin project. Secondly, there's no artificial price pumps due to low supply, and I know you've seen it. That coin where only 15% of the total supply is out in the market, and yet it's pumping like crazy, that 15% figure is not a good thing. You and I both know that can't last, and eventually that supply hits the market through unlocking vested tokens or huge chunks of the supply hitting the market, and that creates lots of downside selling pressure, of course. Well, Polygon's MATIC does not have these issues. In fact, over 90% of the total supply is already in circulation. A little more than 9 out of the 10 billion total supply is already out there on the market, which is great. I think that only Bitcoin has a higher percentage of total supply out there in the market today, aside from those projects that have 100% of their tokens in circulation. So that means that growth is real, and the rest will come onto the market within the next 3 years. Another point here is that utility is increasing. Each of the different layer 2 solutions Polygon has uses MATIC, really whether it's the new zkEVM, Hermes, or Maiden, both different ZK solutions, or Nightfall, or others. All these solutions will be using the MATIC token to buy, sell, hold, and pay for the solution. And this doesn't include, by the way, the token's use in its growing NFT market and in the many Web 2 partnerships like Instagram that we've mentioned in other videos. So that's the thing. People often do ignore the pretty great tokenomics because Polygon, for the most part, has so many other great, more flashy things to talk about. Partnering with Starbucks, for example, is probably a cooler thing to talk about than 90% of the supply of coins out there in the market. Meta, Instagram, Stripe. I mean, the list of recent partnerships has been fantastic. So tokenomics sometimes takes a backseat, but they are pretty solid. That's my take, guys. Of course, we remain bullish on Polygon. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below.